Have you ever looked at the world's problems, climate change, social division, you name it, and just felt like they're all one giant tangled knot? It feels impossible to solve, right? Well, the source material we're digging into today proposes a really bold new kind of infrastructure to take on that exact problem. It's called the Synergy Engine, and it's basically designed to be a new operating system for the entire planet. All right, let's get into it. So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we're going to really define this tangled crisis we're all in. Then we'll get into the core idea of synergy. After that, we'll look at the nuts and bolts of how this synergy engine would actually work, talk about its ultimate goal, regenerating the planet, and then we'll wrap up by looking at the huge shift this whole thing represents, going from a fragmented world to a coherent one.
Okay, so to really get the solution, we have to be super clear about the problem. And the problem isn't that people aren't trying hard enough. It's something much deeper. It's a systemic fragmentation in pretty much everything we do.
This quote, man, it just hits the nail on the head. We're living in what a lot of people are now calling a polycrisis. All our big challenges are interconnected. They feed off each other. So trying to solve one thing in a silo is like trying to patch one leaky pipe on a ship that's got holes popping up everywhere. It just doesn't work anymore.
Let's really get our heads around this word, polycrisis. It's not just a bunch of separate problems happening at the same time. It's a convergence where every crisis makes the others worse. Think of it like a domino effect in all directions at once. The climate crisis hammers the economy, which fuels social tension, which then makes politics more unstable. The combined mess is way more dangerous than any single one of those issues by itself.
Okay, so if fragmented action is the problem, then the solution has to be something that brings things together in a totally new and powerful way. And this brings us to the whole guiding idea behind the synergy engine, the principle of synergy itself.
Synergy is that kind of magical concept where 1 + 1 = 3, or maybe even 10. It's when different groups, different systems start working together in just the right way, and boom, their combined result is just so much greater than anything they could have pulled off on their own. It's the total opposite of fragmentation.
And what's so cool about this slide is how it lays out the two different worlds. On the left, you've got the old paradigm. That's the world we know. Everyone in their own little bubble, competing for the same money, just reacting to the latest crisis. But on the right, you see the new paradigm that synergy makes possible. Real coordinated action, stewarding our resources together, and proactively adapting based on what we're all learning. It's a complete game changer.
And this is what the synergy engine is all about. It's not just some nice idea, it's an actual proposed infrastructure. It's a technology framework built specifically to make that new paradigm a reality. Its whole job is to find those hidden opportunities for synergy, connect the right players, and just amplify their combined power.
Okay, so that all sounds fantastic in theory, right? But how would it actually work? Like, for real? Well, the source material gives us a pretty detailed 5-layer architecture that makes up the core of this whole engine.
Here they are, the 5 layers. You can almost think of this as an assembly line for collaboration. You start by mapping out all the pieces. Then you get them pointing in the same direction. You find the best ways to connect them. You fire up the machine, and you never stop tweaking and improving it. Let's walk through a quick example.
So, Layer 1, Systems Mapping. This is the bedrock. You can't coordinate what you can't see. So picture this. A local nonprofit is trying to reforest a degraded area. At the same time, a little tech startup nearby is developing these cool mapping drones, and the local government has a budget for land restoration, but they don't know the best way to spend it. Right now, they're 3 separate dots. This layer puts them all on the same map, making everything visible.
So once you've got that map, layers 2 and 3 kick in. Purpose alignment helps these 3 groups realize, hey, we all want the same thing, to restore our local ecosystem. Then synergy identification. This is where the magic happens. The engine flags the opportunity. The nonprofit has the people and the planting know-how, the startup's drones can plant and monitor way more efficiently, and the government can provide the land and funding. And here's the kicker. You've just created a powerful new team without anyone needing to invent something from scratch.
And the last 2 layers are where the rubber meets the road. Coordinated action turns that idea into a real-world partnership, a joint reforestation project. But it doesn't just stop there. Layer 5, continuous learning, uses those drones to send back real-time data on how the seedlings are doing. This feedback lets the whole team adapt and improve their strategy on the fly. The project becomes a living, learning system.
This image just perfectly captures the end result. By connecting those separate groups, you create a kind of swarm intelligence. No single person was in charge, but together the collective became incredibly smart and effective. The synergy engine is about creating that same kind of emergent coordination for all of humanity's biggest challenges. So we've seen the problem, and we've seen the really elegant design of the solution. But what is this all for? What is the ultimate purpose of building this massive planetary coordination machine? The ultimate goal is, well, it's profound. It's about shifting our entire posture as a species, from constantly running around in crisis mode, putting out one fire after another, to proactively stewarding the living systems of our planet. It's about becoming gardeners of a thriving Earth, not just being its firefighters.
And when you make that shift, look at what becomes possible. We're talking about actually restoring ecological balance. But it's also deeper. It's about reharmonizing our relationship with nature itself. It means transforming our economies to be regenerative, not extractive. It means strengthening our communities. It means creating a huge leap in our collective intelligence as a species.
And that brings us right back to that central analogy. The Synergy engine is designed to be a planetary operating system. Now, just like the OS on your phone coordinates all the different apps and hardware, this would provide that shared, neutral background infrastructure for all of humanity to align, to make sense of things together, and to coordinate our actions at a massive scale.
We're getting close to the end here, and what we've really been tracking this whole time is a single, fundamental shift, a move away from a world of scattered, broken pieces toward a coherent, interconnected whole. This final quote just ties it all together so perfectly. Coherence is the setup. It's getting all the pieces of the system aligned and talking to each other. Synergy is the amazing result, the incredible performance you get once that coherent structure is actually in place. You create the right conditions and spectacular results naturally follow. So, as we close, the source material leaves us with this really big question. The tools, the ideas, the potential, it all seems to be there. This concept gives us a blueprint. The real question isn't whether it's possible, it's whether we have the collective courage and will to actually work together and build it. What do you think?